into season 4 of Dexter, my expectations couldn't have been higher. The first 3 seasons have already cemented the show as one of the most compelling and addicting series I've ever seen. Season 1 gave us the eye-struck killer, one of the best introductions for a protagonist-antagonist dynamic on TV. Season 2 followed that up with the Bay Harbor Butcher storyline, which pushed Dexter into brand new territory where the hunter almost was exposed and caught. Season 3 might not have been quite as universally loved, but I personally adored it for how it pushed Dexter into new emotional territory with Miguel Prado. So by the time I hit season 4, I had heard nothing but praise from everyone. People called it peak Dexter, the season where everything came together and where John Lenthal, as the Trinity Killer, delivered one of the greatest villain performances in TV history. I went in with insanely high hopes, expecting brilliance, tension, and unforgettable twists. I was ready for the show to take me on a ride, but even with all that build-up, I was not prepared for how incredible this season truly was. Watching it unfold, I can honestly say this season was television magic. Season 4 isn't just great, it's beautiful, devastating, and one of the finest seasons of TV I've ever watched in my life. The balance between Dexter's personal life and his dark passenger has never been sharper. The introduction of Arthur Mitchell, aka the Trinity Killer, elevates the show to another level entirely. I found myself glued to the screen from the very first episode all the way to the jaw-dropping finale. This isn't just the best season of Dexter, it's easily one of the best seasons of television ever made, period. The synopsis alone sets the stage for why this season hits so hard. Dexter is officially married to Rita, and the two are raising their newborn baby, Harrison, alongside Rita's kids, Astor and Cody. On the surface, Dexter is living the perfect suburban life, but underneath it all, he's still balancing his double identity as a blood-spatter analyst and a serial killer. Enter Arthur Mitchell, the so-called Trinity Killer, a family man who has been killing undetected for decades. What makes Arthur so fascinating is that he represents what Dexter could become. Someone who blends in so well, it hides darkness beneath the surface. Dexter, thinking Arthur might hold the key to balancing fatherhood and his secret life, begins to study him. But what starts as admiration quickly turns into one of the most chilling and dangerous games of cat and mouse the series ever gave us. There are so many positives that I almost don't know where to start, because truthfully, I loved just about everything this season offered. The characters are all at the top of their game. John Lenthal as Arthur Mitchell is perfection. He's not just the best villain in Dexter, he's easily one of the greatest villains in TV history. What makes him work so well is that he's not just evil, he's complex. We see him as a husband, as a father, as a community member, and then we see the darkness behind closed doors. That contrast is terrifying because it feels so real. Every single scene between Arthur and Dexter is electric. The way Arthur lures Dexter into his world, the way Dexter tries to learn from him, and the slow unraveling of just how monstrous Arthur really is makes for brilliant television. That scene where Arthur calmly says, "Hello, Dexter Morgan," is burned into my brain forever. It's chilling, it's iconic, and it represents everything this season does right.
Hello, Dexter Morgan.
On top of that, Dexter's storyline as a father had so much depth. For the first time, Dexter isn't just balancing his dark passenger with work and relationships. He's balancing it with raising a child. Changes the formula in the best way possible, and it makes his choices carry even more weight. I loved seeing him try to be both the loving father and the calculating killer, and the tension between those two roles made made for some of the most compelling drama in the series. Rita continues to shine this season as well. Her growth since season 1 has been amazing, and by season 4, she's easily one of the most likable characters, which makes the ending all the more devastating. When Rita is killed by Arthur, it's one of the most shocking, gut-wrenching moments, not only in Dexter, but in television history. I'll never forget the first time I saw that scene. I was absolutely floored. I remember being in complete disbelief, just staring at the screen. And then without hesitation, I immediately put on season 5 because I couldn't just stop watching. That's how powerful this season's ending was. The kills this season are some of the best and most creative in the entire series. The way Trinity operates with his ritualistic cycle is disturbing yet fascinating. His connection with his son Jonah adds even more layers to the story. Speaking of Jonah, I really love his character. And I have this crazy theory that he ends up becoming the new War Reaper in Dexter Resurrection. I haven't mentioned that in my other reviews, but if it's actually him, I'm going to lose my mind. It would be such a genius way of tying things together. I also really enjoyed the Batista and LaGuardia romance subplot. Normally, relationships like that in long-running shows feel forced or like they're jumping the shark. But here it felt natural. It added warmth and groundedness to the season, balancing out all the darkness swirling around Dexter and Arthur. And while I think this season is basically flawless, I do have a couple of nitpicks. First, Dexter as a father sometimes strains believability. There are multiple times where he disappears for hours or even days and no one, not even Rita, questions where he's gone. It's a little too convenient, especially given how involved Rita is in his life. The second issue is that Dexter feels almost too easily manipulated by Arthur. Dexter has always been this cold, calculating figure who doesn't let his guard down. But with Arthur, he almost acts naive at times. He allows Arthur to pull him in and even learns from him, which feels slightly off for a character who has always been in control. But honestly, those nitpicks barely matter compared to everything this season gets right. The performances, the writing, the tension, the shocking finale, it's all near perfect. Season 4 of Dexter isn't just my favorite season of the show, it's one of my favorite seasons of television I've ever seen. It's bold, it's brilliant, and it left me with my jaw on the floor. For me, it's an easy 9.75 out of 10, and it's the season that truly solidified Dexter as an all-time great series. That's my take on Dexter Season 4. It's easily one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched and the true masterpiece of the show. But now I want to hear from you. Do you agree that Trinity is the greatest villain in the series? Were you as shocked by the ending as I was? Drop your thoughts, reactions, and favorite moments in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.